Welcome to Magh Gupt Navratri special from Astro Sadhana. Today is day 1 of Gupt Navratri. Today we will explore Maa Kali. Now, Grahas are the working tools of Kala. Kala in the sense like time. While the Mahavidyas are the intelligences that govern Kala itself, time itself. This means planets do not control the Mahavidya. Instead, planets functions under Mahavidya principle. For those who are, this is an intro to those who are puzzled about the connect between astrology and Dash Mahavidya. Graha shows when karma activates. Mahavidyas decide how consciousness experiences and survives that karma. Each Mahavidya expresses herself through certain grahas, but only in certain conditions. With this understanding, let's decode Maa Kali, her functional nature, and the graha she points to her.
When we look at Maa Kali, she is not simply there as someone to give you consolation. She is there standing as deep detachment. And that detachment is what brings inner freedom. She represents that moment when Saturn and Ketu converge. So the time is no longer rewarding. Your efforts seem to be going in vain. And everything in life situation will push you towards a situation which is unavoidable, but will also bring deep detachment if you look at it closely. So, Saturn is a planet which governs time, it governs, it's slow moving, so it may bring slow transformation over a period of time. And it teaches endurance. When we don't look after the ones who are ashrit, the ones who are dependent upon us, be it our siblings, our parents, our spouses, or the people who work for us, if we don't treat them well, if we don't look after them well, that's where Saturn starts catching. That's where Saturn is not a planet which is interested in rewarding or punishing anyone. It's just a fair karma karaka. So, whatever you do, it will teach you your life lessons through your own karmas. And when the point at where the Saturn and Ketu converge, Ketu results in cutting off the ties, and you feel that the meaning itself from whatever you have attached yourself has been lost. So there is this existential stripping off that starts happening, and that is where you start struggling, you start making that pain a suffering point. To rise above it, we need some kind of external invocation of Shakti. But she's not external, she is very much within us. So, although we may feel that an invocation is happening outside, it never happens outside. The invocation is always within. So, in human life, Maa Kali manifests when all these outward structures have collapsed. Maybe your career has started getting affected, identities that you have attached yourself to start dissolving. You fear that loss of fame, of all the money, of all the uh, relationships that you have built over a period of time. All these start to suddenly become visible when you start seeing that whatever you have invested your emotions and energies in eventually are all short lived. And Saturn slows everything down so that you you still start to see the reality. You stop avoiding what is impossible. You tap into that energy, which it will show you that you are clinging to something which is very hollow. And this is not punishment. This is consciousness being forced out of all the false identities we associate ourselves with. And Ma Kali's work here is where time itself becomes a teacher. So, under her influence, the person discovers that nothing external can be relied upon, not even your own spiritual ideas for that matter. And we are just nobody in this big scheme of things, where the ego is so bloated that it refuses to even acknowledge that fear, lust, guilt, false associations, and these kind of impurities even exist within us. To start to see the reality of life as is, and not as you want it to be, because it can no longer be maintained as such. And Ma Kali does not come simply as a comforting force, she comes as liberation.
There is one particular text called Nirvana Tantra, in which it is clearly stated that Kali is time itself and the regulator of time. In simple words, Ma Kali is not symbol of time, she is the Kala Tattva itself. What you wear in your hand, watch, is a diluted form of Kala Tattva. This is time, but this is a diluted representation of time itself. Now, pause here and let's look at classical astrology. In Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, we call it as BPHS, it is said that Shani is of the nature of time and delivers karmic result. Among all the grahas, Shani alone is explicitly described as Kala Swarupa, the very form of time. From this alignment, Tantra says Kali equal to Kala, Jyotisha says Shani equal to Kala Swarupa, Graha. So, Shani is deeply attuned to Ma Kali's energy. Comes another Graha that resonates strongly with functional Tattva of Ma Kali, which is Ketu. Consider like Shani as the primary planet, which has a strong resonation with Ma Kali, and Ketu as a secondary planet. Okay. Now, how can we understand this? A line from Mahanirvana Tantra, famous text in Tantra sect, that says Kali is attributeless, partless, and of the nature of Shunya, void. Okay. The key word here is Shunya. Shunya does not mean nothingness. It means absence of identity, form, and ego. Now, let's pause here and jump to astrology. In astrology, whether you take Jaimini or Parashari system, it is said that Ketu is the significator of liberation, Moksha Karaka, detachment. Okay, in Kali Tantra, her iconography shows her dwelling in cremation ground adorned with skulls. The cremation ground symbolizes a post-identity state, exactly the domain of Ketu. What does Ketu represent? Disembodied consciousness, detachment, and ego collapse. So the correspondence is very precise. Same like, once again, like the equation in Tantra, Kali is Shunya Rupa. In Jyotisha, Ketu is the Moksha Karaka. Ketu expresses Kali's void aspect, the power that dissolves identity and attachment. Kali's iconography is not decorative at all. It defines her tattva, and the tattva overlaps exactly with Shani Ketu functions. Beyond Shani and Ketu, Ma Kali is also strongly connected with Vrichchiga Rashi. This is a very interesting connector. Vrichchiga Rashi represents deep transformation. In the Kalapurusha Tattva, Vrichchiga Rashi is the 8th sign and it represents deep transformation. Whichever planet is placed in Vrichchiga Rashi tend to give the native a deep transformation related to that planet. Vrichchiga Rashi is a pressure releasing sign. The Ketu is exalted here. Mars and Saturn strongly influence this sign. Astrologers would be able to easily connect with this point. Because of this intense releasing energy trait of this sign. Okay. Now, see Ma Kali. Ma Kali dances fearlessly, ecstatically in the cremation ground, making Vrichchiga Rashi the trait of pressure releasing. Okay. They are, you are able to connect it, right? Making Vrichchiga Rashi her most natural zodiac expression. Now let us look at some astrological pointers that naturally inclines a person towards Ma Kali worship. First thing, if you are born during Krishna Paksha, yes, you can worship Ma Kali. If in your natal chart, the moon is moving towards Ketu or placed with Ketu, then that is a double yes. Yes, you can worship Ma Kali. See, the moon should be either moving towards Rahu or moving towards Ketu. There is only two possibilities. If in your chart, if moon is moving towards Ketu, then it's a double yes. You can worship Ma Kali. If your dasha or antara lord is placed in Vrichchiga Rashi, that means the graha is absorbing the energy of Vrichchiga Rashi. Okay, or if you are running a period that is strongly connected to the 8th house energy, then that is a triple yes. You should definitely worship Maa Kali. Shani Ketu combination in the natal chart can bring highly testing and challenging, especially with regard to their job profession. Okay, they can be seen detached, not taking responsibilities. Okay, now both the Shani and Ketu are slow moving planets and demand deep karmic maturity to handle them. Okay, if the person is not having such an alignment, okay, the chances of him handling the the influence or the impression of this graha becomes very remote and thin. This becomes especially intense during Saturn Ketu period. Okay, Shani Ketu period. Irrespective of this dasha bhukti, if Shani and Ketu are placed together or in Trikona Sambandha, it is clear yes, go and fall in feet of Maa Kali. Okay, worship of Maa Kali is strongly indicated. And this is the perfect time to align with her energy during Gupt Navratri, when Maa Kali's presence is powerful and specially active. With this, we conclude Maa Kali. Tomorrow, let's explore Maa Tara. To learn more about Maa Kali and perform her Dhyan Shloka, open today's Astro Wisdom in Astro Sadhana app. More details are available in the description. Thank you.